Listen up, hockey fans. You're in the right place. A no-hold-barred debate between two hockey fans. Stay up to date on current issues in the NHL, even the controversial ones. Welcome to The Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud.
It is time for the Debate Hockey Podcast, episode 131 already, February 1st, 2021. I am the host of the show, Brad Burud, joined alongside my co-host, Blake Friars. Evidently, Blake has no heat in his house today. He has his...
It is cold.
I don't understand.
It's cold in here. I am wearing a hoodie and a toque. It is freezing in this house.
And,
I got to support my guys. They're on a roll right now. I got to support them.
He's got his power on his Xbox figured out, but he doesn't have the heat figured out. So call it what you want, I guess. Oh, man. Busy week of hockey ahead. Last week was fairly busy, too. And Saturday's matchups were freaking off the chart. That Saturday night was really, really good in the league. And fun to see. And it was a real entertaining. Really entertaining.
That Calgary game was good. It's a good hockey game.
I thought the Calgary game. I thought the Vancouver game was good for the most part. I watched a little bit of the Blues blowing out the Ducks. I don't know why. Yeah,
did you see that start? They're up 3-0 in the first 2.5 minutes.
I didn't watch. That's the thing. I didn't watch the start, but it went like so freaking haywire that I turned it over to watch a little bit because I was like, man, like what's going on? Am I like missing something here? You know?
Yeah. Did you watch that Edmonton game last night?
You know, I did. I watched up until
I turned it off at 7-3.
After the first, I watched like the first two. I didn't watch the beginning. I watched probably midway through the first to like 4 minutes into the second, and I'm like, enough hockey for the day. I can't watch this. This is so bad.
Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl combined for 12 points. Okay, they now have 43 points combined.
One more than the Ducks' whole roster has.
I know, crazy stats in 11 games. So, like, are we just getting to the point where we can just like subtract the points that you get when you play Ottawa, or like what's the deal there?
We're gonna talk about that later in the show. I'm glad you
because like that's just ridiculous. McDavid and Draisaitl have like 22 points in 10 games.
Yeah,
like I mean the Canucks benefited from playing Ottawa too, so I'm not gonna say, but like that's ridiculous though.
Well,
like crazy.
We'll talk about that later on in the show. And I've been busy lately on walks, Blake. I've been going on walks yesterday. The family and I we drove down to Garrison and went on a nature walk there. It's like 3+ miles.
How far? That's what, like 30 minutes away from Minot?
About 40 minutes. We went down to the water where the water is still flowing. It's cool. It's freezing. It's cold outside. It was 15 above, but yet there's running water. And we saw deer. We saw about 15 bald eagles, a bunch of geese. It was fun. Went on about a little over a 3-mile walk. It was good. And we came home and kids went sledding on some hills, and it was just like I slept so much better last night after being outside all the time.
Yeah.
Getting all that much fresh air. So the last 3 days I've been outside. Today, not so much. I had a lot of work to get caught up on today. So, but felt good to do that. Junior hockey's going in the States. So I watched
Toros.
Just watched them on TV this weekend and flipped around just to a bunch of different games on Saturday night as I was watching NHL games. But you guys are still shut down up there and no end in sight.
Yeah, they're maybe talking about end of February, start of March start date.
For how long? I mean,
they just extended the code red in Manitoba until February 12th. So if it gets extended to the end of February, I don't see it starting because
we're down.
First of all, the league is making us quarantine for 2 weeks when everybody comes back, and then you got to at least give the players a week to practice and get back into game shape, right? At least a week, right? So now you're looking at the first week of March, and then what are we gonna play in the fucking July?
Yeah,
like I don't want to really speak on it because I work with the league, but it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating that it's gotten to this point. The cases have been down in this area, and they're still in code red. It doesn't really make much sense, but
and cases are virtually down.
That's way over my pay grade, that's for sure.
I don't understand it. Winnipeg announced that youth hockey would be shut down for the entire year, and I just look at all those kids missing out on hockey, and what's the mental toll on this?
Yeah, a kid. I just saw a kid from, I think it was Alberta. He took his life because he couldn't cope without sports.
Well, not even that so much.
Sports is part of. First of all, it's part of our life. Second of all, it's an escape for lots of people, right? Watching sports, playing sports. They need that stuff in their life because, that's something you look forward to. When I get off this podcast, the Canucks play at 6:00. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to watch my team at 6:00. After that, I'm going to watch probably another game. It's something to look forward to when you're playing it. Oh, we play Friday night and Sunday night. That's something you look forward to all week. And we don't have that in your life. It's like what are you supposed to do? Okay. Right? It's
need to interact. And when you take interaction away, you can do that in short segments for safety. But when you start taking, being social away for a long period of time, there's ramifications to that. And you have to look at how those ramifications stand up against the ramifications of being healthy. We're going to have to learn. COVID's not going away. We're going to have to learn as a society, whether you're in the States or in Canada or wherever you're at in the world, how to live with this, how to cope with it, and how to deal with it. It's not going away. If we think that we're magically going to be able to make it go away, we're lying to ourselves. But enough talking about that. Do you feel like when you watch a hockey game right now, an NHL game, that you're already like, oh, man, how does this affect the play? I mean, I already feel like we're talking. I do.
Every time a game goes in overtime, I'm like, come on, let's win in regulation, please. None of this 3-point games, but it's a little early for that. I was listening to an interview with Vancouver's coach Travis Green, and the reporter's like, are you scoreboard watching already? And he's like, no, it's a little early for that. But I mean, think about it. Only 56 game season. We're creeping up on that 15 game mark, the quarter mark. So I mean,
some teams are at the 7 mark. Some are at the 4 mark.
Yeah. Oh, like Dallas is at the 6 mark.
Yeah. Calgary's only at 7.
Well, they had that week off, right? So I
mean, there's a lot of teams that are just way, way low. Today on the show, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about first lines. What teams have the best first lines? What teams have the worst?
Yeah, we're kind of scrambling for ideas, and that's just something that popped into my brain, I guess. But there wasn't really much to talk about.
Then we'll talk about when does the panic really begin for some of these teams, and we'll touch on a couple teams that, and we'll discuss if they're touching the panic button yet or not touching the panic button yet. Then we'll go around the league, talk about some questionable hits, American Hockey League money, McDavid, Tkachuk, Rutherford, and some trade requests. A big thanks goes out to our sponsor, Manscaped. Check out their website at manscaped.com. Get yourself a lawnmower 3.0. It is the only trimmer out there that has a charge stand with it. So it sits nice on your sink. And when you charge it, you don't need to charge it again for quite some time. It holds its charge great. It's great. You don't have to worry about nicks and problem areas and all that good stuff. Go to manscaped.com, 20% off plus free shipping with promo code DEBATE. That's at manscaped.com. All right, Blake, first lines. Some teams are much better than others on this. And when I was going through all the teams and kind of diving into the first lines, it was like, man, how is this team even winning a game? And then I looked at some teams and I'm like, I love their first line. I don't think it's the top 5, but man, look at this.
Yeah, I put
line and look at this third line and look at this fourth line.
I put 7 first lines.
I wrote
that could have been top 5.
I wrote my top 5 down and I have 4 honorable mentions.
I have 2 honorable mentions.
Then I have my worst 4.
Okay. I got 5.
4 that stood out. Like
I got 5.
So you want to talk negative or positive first?
Yeah, let's go to the worst ones first.
Get that out of the way so we can talk a little positive.
Yeah. For the first one, I got Matthias Brome, Dylan Larkin, Bobby Ryan.
I got that one too. That's bad.
That's bad.
I don't even know. Okay, how long before? What am I trying to say? How long before like you have to fix it?
Well, in Detroit's case, it's a young rebuilding team, so that's the last thing that they're worried about. It's all about developing and getting better as a young hockey team, right? There's gonna be some growing pains, but they do got some young talent up there in Detroit. So I mean that's what they have now. Obviously, you bring a guy like Bobby Ryan in for some veteran leadership, and he's had a good start to the season, but kind of feel bad for Dylan Larkin for sure.
Absolutely,
he's a good player.
What do you have for your second one?
Janssen, Hughes, and Jesper Bratt. I just like Janssen and Bratt are
that one down.
Janssen and Bratt aren't first line players though.
Oh, not
that's what I'm saying. Sure. Like they're 2 third liners on the first line. Like that's kind of what I put in there. Like Hughes is the top 6. Like he's a good player, but he's playing with 2 third liners on the first line. So for me, like that's a bad line. That's a bad first line. That'd be a good third line,
but then it's a bad team.
First line.
Yeah.
So, what do you got for number 2?
I put down. I didn't rank my bottom ones. I just have 4 of them that suck.
Yeah.
One that's different than yours. I have Kajula, Schmaltz, and Garland in Arizona.
I don't mind that lineup. It's a bad first line.
It's first line. I mean, seriously, if they connected that as your first line, would you be ready to watch the game tonight?
What the hell's going on here? Garland's a good player though. I like Garland,
but
bad first line though.
Kajula on your first line.
What about Janmark, Kurashev, and Patrick Kane? My God, I feel like Patrick Kane's like, all right, like, can I have some help, please?
There's none on the way.
Not on the way, buddy. You're gonna have to request a trade out of here, I think.
I don't think that'll happen either.
Not for 10.5.
No, not even close. Not even close.
And
you signed that, so you're there.
But he won 3 cops, like.
I know. That's why he got that.
Yeah,
he wanted it.
It was just in Chicago's case, it was just a really, really, really rapid decline, right? Seabrook took the turn. Yeah, it was. They won the cup. Look, they won the cup in 2015.
That's 5 years ago.
I know. They lost They lost in the Western Conference Final in 2016. Okay.
Yeah.
They went to the second round in 2017, and then after that, like the last 3 years, it's just been a rapid decline. Right?
They were actually, surprisingly, I mean, if you've forgotten, I know we were in the bubble, but they were in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been in the playoffs. That's last year.
They were though.
I know. Then they beat Edmonton, which is a cool story for them. But it like Seabrook took a turn for the worse, got hurt. Keith is on the decline. Corey Crawford just retired. Like there's just a lot of stuff that happened that went wrong.
They got old.
No, they just got old, and it's the same thing with the Kings, right? You're starting to see that core turnover, and you're starting to see the youth movement, and you're starting to see
they have a youth movement there in Chicago. They never really had.
Chicago is late to the party. LA traded off their pieces. They traded Muzzin for some first round picks. They got some other picks for some other players. Now you'll probably look to trade Brown or Carter in this next year or so. So, or maybe Jonathan Quick even next year. He's got 1 year left on his deal after next year. You might get something for him. But yeah, but the thing is with Chicago, they got a lot of big contracts that are unmovable, like Taves and Kane. They're both making 10.5. You got Keith making 7, Seabrook making 7.5.
Keith's making 5.
Or is he making?
He's got a great value deal, but still, who's signing up for him right now? I mean, that's just it. Like, who's signing up for him? You know, Who's signing up for any of those guys right now? Nobody's taking Taze or Kane at $10 million. You know?
Yeah. I'm just let me look here. Chicago.
They just don't have assets that are they made their assets untradeable.
Well, okay, so you got Shaw making 3.9.
Overpaid.
You can maybe move that. Dominic Kubalik, you can move that. He's a good player, 3.7, good value.
But he's a guy you probably want to build on.
Yeah.
You're gonna get rid of those guys. I mean,
Calvin DeHaan, overpaid. Yeah, Doug East making 5.5 for the next 3 years. So yeah, that is a good value.
But right now,
right now you don't have a goalie, right?
No, you don't have a goalie at all.
Brinkat hasn't played all year. He's been hurt. Like they do have some young pieces. Like I like that Adam Boquist. I like him a lot. The Brinkat, Kirby Dack. I think he's gonna be a stud for them. Alex Nylander too, another young player. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's not much coming up in this system for sure.
My other one I had written down was in Anaheim with Jones, Getzlaf, and Terry.
Yeah, I got that one too. And the last one that I had was Foligno, Texier, and Bjorkstrand.
Yeah.
I don't like that's a good third line, not a first line, right? So
but that team finds a way. I didn't put that down. You want to know why I didn't?
Find a way.
Because so many people could argue with me on that one. And I mean, I don't think anybody would argue with me that on paper that doesn't look good. But that team freaking every time I get ready to put a shovel into them, they freaking keep winning. So like I always kind of like leave them alone. Like you can't pick on Columbus because they'll make you look stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk positive. Who do you have as let's start right at the top. Who do you have as your best first line?
Well, when healthy, you can't go wrong with Kucherov, Point, Stamkos. I mean, it's a 1A, 1B for me. I have Kucherov, Point, Stamkos, and then 1B, I got Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak.
Yeah, see, I left Kucherov off because he's just irrelevant this year. So I went.
Well, I'm saying, like, when healthy, that's the best line in hockey. Like, hands down, like, the best line. I put an asterisk beside that because he's hurt. That's why I put an extra one. So right now, the best line in hockey is in Boston. Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak.
That's what I have. That's
the best line in hockey.
That's what I have. And I have actually, I'll skip right to third. I have Palat, Point, and Stamkos. Even with Kucherov gone, I got them at third. You know who I have second? I think we have the same second. I bet you $100 we got the first top two the same.
Connor Scheifele Wheeler?
No.
Who?
I got Landeskog, McKinnon, and Ratinen.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
And I almost put them one.
Oh, that's okay. That's my three. That's my two. Sorry, that's my two. How did I forget that? What am I doing?
So I think Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak are the best. I think Landeskog, McKinnon, and Ratinen is right behind them.
Definitely. It's gonna be interesting to see if they sign Landeskog. Like, do they have the money to bring him back?
I don't know. Wasn't it a year, less than 12 months ago? Colorado had all the money in the world.
Well, yeah, but now they got to pay McKinnon in 2 years. Now they got to pay McCarr.
Same with Vancouver. Vancouver had all the money in the world. Now Vancouver is going to have to freaking.
Vancouver's got some flexibility after next year. So
yeah, but
you just got to get through. They got to get through this next year. It's gonna be tight.
Maybe easier said than done.
Yeah. Okay, so my number three would be Connor Scheifele Wheeler.
Yeah, I had them at 4.
That's just a line that gets it done. I mean, they do a little bit of everything. They got some grit, they got some scoring. Scheifele's got some good playmaking. That's a deadly line.
You know what scared me about that though? When I was going through these and I was looking at depth charts, Winnipeg has kind of stood off the chart as, well, that's a good first line. Ooh, that's a pretty good second line. That's better than half the league's first line.
We'll see where Dubois fits in.
He'll be their second line center.
You're probably right, but It'll just be interesting to see how it fits. Like, what's that mean for Stastny, right? He goes their third line center, makes your team deeper, obviously, but we'll see how it works.
A lot of teams kill F. Stastny for a third line center. Oof. Wow.
Or they might put Stastny on the wing with Dubois. I don't know.
Yeah. Who else do you have in your top 5?
I got Miller, Pettersson, Besser, 4. The Lotto line. That line is dynamite possession wise.
It's not top 5 in the league, Blake.
It is top 5 in the league. Look what we're doing this year. They're dominant every. Don't even be bullshitting me, Brad.
Well, it's not hard to look dominant against Ottawa.
Look what they did last year.
I'm just saying, I don't think they're top 5. They're close. They're not top 5.
They are for sure top 5.
They're not better than Giroux, Patrick, and Voracek.
100% they are.
No,
I don't like Voracek. I don't think and Giroux.
They're not okay. Well, then put it this way: they're not better than Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Puljujärvi.
I got them 5.
Yeah, so do I. And they're not better than.
Who's your 4?
I've got Edmonton at 4, and I've got Philadelphia at 5 with Giroux, Patrick, Voracek.
And
my honorable mentions. I think Lee, Barzell, and Bailey. I'm not saying it's top 5, but it's an honorable mention. That's a good line.
What about Hyman, Matthews, Marner?
My next one I have on my list.
Hell, what about Eichel, Hall, Olofsson?
I wrote that down.
That's a side. Good line.
It is, but they haven't done anything.
I understand that, but talent-wise, that line is off the charts good.
I know, but I could not even give him an honorable mention because you got to show me.
And that's the reason why. That's the reason why I put the Lotto line out there, because they have done that. They have showed us that the last year and this year.
We'll see. Oh yeah, they did the last 2 games, Blake. But the first
Miller missed the first 3 games, and after he's come back, that line has been unbelievable.
Okay, but remember, 3 of the games were against Ottawa. So
I understand that.
Now
they just scored 3 goals. They combined for 3 goals against Winnipeg.
They're
all the offense
by a mile. That team had their best game of the year by a mile. But let's see if they can do it on a consistent basis, Blake.
I agree.
A week.
They did it all year last year, so I'm really not concerned.
Well, they didn't.
Miller had 74 points last year.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We're gonna see
68 games.
We're gonna see. So you like that Hyman, Matthews, Marner too?
I do like that line. Hyman isn't a first line player, but he's the perfect player for those 2 types of players. He goes into the corners, he gets the puck, and he's fearless. Like he goes to the dirty areas and he digs pucks loose for Matthews and Marner. It's a good fit.
And I'm not even saying these are top. I'm going to name a line here, and I'm going to preface it by saying I don't even think they're top 15 in the league. But you look at that Tkachuk, Lindholm, Dubé. Is Dubé a first line player? Probably not. But
you look at that. You look at that Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm line.
That's not a line.
That was last year though.
Yeah, but that's not a line.
That was one of the best lines in the league.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
one way they're the best. It doesn't matter though if you let in 6 this way and only score 3 this way. Doesn't really.
You didn't like that line as a fan?
No, I don't.
What?
No. Look at the numbers last year. It sucked. The line sucked. They were a freaking liability.
So they got Lindholm in the middle now, right?
Yeah, it's Lindholm, Tkachuk, and Dubé, and it's been great all year.
That's a solid line.
And Dubé, no, he's not a first-line player. And I'm a big Calgary guy, but I'm the first to admit he's not. But you know what? He's the perfect guy for that wing.
Who is on the wing with Monahan, Johnny?
It's changed between it's
Majapani.
And Majapani's the best player on that line.
Okay, Johnny's been pretty good. You have to say Johnny's been good to start the year.
On the power play, he's been good.
Exceeded your expectations, I think.
No, he hasn't. Okay, look, the guy scores on the power play. He does not score 5-on-5. You want to know why he doesn't score 5-on-5? You want to know why?
Let's go look.
Yeah, look at his numbers. You want to know why? How many times you get checked when you're on the power play?
0.
Yeah, he fucking loves it out there then. Fucking loves it. It's great. Put me on the power play. I'll score. because he doesn't have to worry about getting touched.
Calgary Flames.
But anytime that guy's got to worry about having a body on him, he turns into a ghost.
Skaters.
75% of his points this year have been on the power play. Just pull it up.
I am. Hold on. Calgary Flames. Johnny Gaudreau. He has
what?
60% of his points on the power play.
How many goals does he have?
3 of 5. So he has two even strength goals.
Yeah.
Still a good player.
Well, we'll see if somebody wants him.
Yeah. Why do you hate Johnny Gaudreau so much?
Because he's one way.
I know.
I want players that'll win you cups. You can score all the fucking points in the world, but if you're not going to be gritty when it's time to win the cup, then why? Then what's the point? Right? He's like if you drew a sketch of the best beer leaguer in the world, he'd have a 13 on his jersey.
Yeah.
Right? Just show me. Could he be talented? Yes. But I got Mangiapane, who the same freaking size as Gaudreau. And if Gaudreau, the puck's in the corner, Gaudreau comes in and does one of those little whirly birds to get away from everything, where Mangiapane goes into the corner hard. That's
you watch Niels Hoglander?
Yeah, he's not a
that's what Johnny should be doing.
Yes.
Niels Hoglander is 5'8", and this guy goes in the corners against D-men that are 6'4".
Blake, when Johnny was on his entry-level contract, he did that too.
I know. Now
he got his contract, and now he doesn't do it.
I know. It's tough. It is. It's
the way it is. It's the way it is.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm. I know. He won't go in the tough areas. Panic. Speaking of panic, let's talk what teams. We're not. Me and you put down a pencil on the 14-game mark. Then we talked about topics this week, and you said, hey, let's talk about what team should hit the panic because we're almost to the 14-game mark. And I looked at the standings. I'm like, we're not even fucking close to the 14-game mark. Most teams have about 8, but I still want to do this because there is some panic that should be. Some teams should be hitting the button here. And let's start where we never start. Let's start in the North because I think there's probably more teams in that division that should be panicking than any of the other ones. And let's start right at the bottom. I don't even think you can call it panic in Ottawa.
No, it's just growing pains.
Reality.
You're gonna have.
It's reality, right?
Yeah.
This team's not good.
No.
Are you worried? I thought about something the other night. I thought, is this team so bad because you can take all these young talents, and you can put them together, and it sounds like it should be okay, but they haven't matured in the league yet. Well, they don't really even have a lot of veterans around them. I mean, Brady Tkachuk's still a young player. I mean, wait, who's like they have surrounded themselves with no veterans.
Who, Ottawa?
Yeah, who do they have?
What do you mean?
Well, this year they brought in a couple, but what do you
mean they have no veterans?
Well, look at their depth chart. Who of any substance, who do they have that's a veteran?
Hold on.
You know what I mean? They don't have a ton of veterans on that team.
They brought in Dadonov, Stefan.
Okay. Is Dadonov going to be a guy that's going to be
he's still a good player, though. He's a good veteran guy. They brought in. They have Artem and Yevov. They brought in Austin Watson.
He's been
Eric Branson, he's a veteran. Braden Coburn, veteran guy.
I know, but you've not named up one.
No, they're not. I didn't say they were good, but they did bring in a lot of veteran guys.
Derek Stefan. What has Derek Stefan done?
Okay, but he's on a expiring contract. He's 30 years old, and he's going to provide leadership for that young team. So that's what he's there for.
And here's another thing. It's a problem when you have a young team, and every young team's guilty of it. Every fan base has a young team. You have a guy like Thomas Chabot has a game like he had the other night where I thought he looked like the worst defenseman in the league.
Against Vancouver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a gong that night.
Yeah.
Everybody says it's okay, he's young. And I guess that's right. I'm okay with that.
Well, the thing is it's really hard to hide a defenseman, a young defenseman.
It is. It's really hard.
You can hide a rookie. You can hide a bottom six. You can hide a forward on the bottom six, fourth line. You only got 6 D-man. It's pretty hard to hide. It's hard to hide a D-man.
Let's hear me out on this one. I worry about a couple people on this team. I think as this year goes, if it continues on the road it's going, Derek Stepan is going to take some heat because he was brought in to help steady the ship here. Their owner wasn't just talking about making the playoffs; he's talking about winning the cup. Which, okay,
we all know how much of a dipstick Malinick is.
I mean, these guys got to
take that with a grain of salt.
Big grain. These guys just got to worry about winning 2 games in a row. You got guys like Brady Tkachuk. How long is he going to want to deal with this? I look at a guy like Matt Murray, and the hammer's going to fall on that poor guy. Even though I think the contract he signed is astonishingly gross and stupid.
Okay, well,
I can't blame him for signing it.
You can't let in 3 goals on 5 shots. I'm sorry.
No, I know, but did we call this the day he signed? I'm like,
yeah,
the new worst contract in the National Hockey League. They just won it.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good deal. 4 years, 6.25.
I mean, what other scouts watching? Like, what game film did they say this guy's worth $6 million for long term? Boy, I think this guy's worth the same money as Jacob Markstrom. I think he's worth it, don't you?
More money, AAV.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does that conversation make it through? Like, that makes no freaking sense at all.
Yeah, I agree.
It makes no sense. And you know what? Who are fans going to point fingers at in Ottawa? They're not.
Usually falls on the goalie. Coach.
But look, though, they're not going to put it at Tkachuk. They're not going to put it at Stützle. They're not going to point it at anybody when you look at the list. I mean, they're not going to point it at Burud. No, he's not good. They're going to point it right at Matt Murray.
I will say this, though. Some of these forwards, these young forwards, look pretty damn good. Like that Josh Norris, Batherson, Stützle, Tkachuk, Shabbat. Like,
they're going to be good players, but it doesn't happen overnight.
I'll give them 3 years.
But what if? Okay, but that's the same thing we said in Edmonton. What if it develops a losing culture? That
no. Hold on. The problem is with those 2 teams, they actually drafted defensemen. Brad, they traded for Young. They have Brandstrom. They have Shabbat. They just picked up Jake Sanderson. They have young D-man in the system. Edmonton didn't have young defensemen. They went all heavy forwards, right? They had no goalie and they had no defense, and that's why that failed. I think what Ottawa's doing is really good. They have some good young forwards. They have some good young D-man, and Matt Murray's not very good, but he's still young. He's 26, right? So I don't know. I think they could. I think they'll be good in a few years.
We'll see. I'm not on
another team that was ready to hit the panic button was the Canucks. I told you last week that this was a huge week for the Canucks, and they went out and rattled off 4 straight.
Yeah,
albeit 3 against Ottawa. I will say that, but it's how they won. They weren't allowing high danger chances. In the last 4 games, they only allowed 4 goals, 1 each game. That's a great sign. That means they're playing better defense together. That game they played against the Jets was the best game of the season by far, like you said. I agree 100%. Besser's on a roll. They got a tough road trip. They got back-to-back against Montreal and I think 3 against Toronto. So you're playing the top 2 in the division, and we'll see where they're at. But
you know what, though, and I can speak from this because of my team. Like, you can look like you're at the top of the world, and 3 days later you can look like you're dog shit.
Vancouver was in 6th, and now they're in 2nd.
Yeah,
4 straight wins. So
they're not in 2nd, they're in 3rd. But
they're tied. They're tied with Montreal, but Montreal has 3 less games played.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can look, you look like you're going to panic, and then all of a sudden it's not so bad.
Like we talked about, every game is a division game, right? Every game's a 4-point game.
That's where it's going to be tricky this year. Do you push the panic button if you're in Calgary?
4-3 or 3-4, I guess.
No, you're 3-3-1.
But they lost 4 games of 7. I wouldn't. I mean, you got Markstrom and net. You got a good top 6.
You only played 7 games. Everybody else has played 9, 11.
Like, Markstrom looked good against Montreal. He looked really good.
You want to know something on Markstrom? He's got 2 shutouts this year. You know how many did he have in Vancouver last year?
1, I think.
2.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's been good. I'm not gonna deny it. He's been really good. Edmonton, like,
do they panic already?
They finally gave Koskinen a fucking day off.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. They have a lot of problems. I mean, yeah, okay, Ottawa's just what the doctor ordered for every team. But, like, you throw those games out, like, is this Edmonton team a team that's going to win?
I don't think – Timmy, I've told you this from the start. If Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid don't produce, that team does not win hockey games.
They don't at all?
They don't.
No.
Like, Edmonton's not going to win 2-1, 1-0. They're not built like that. No. They don't have a good enough defense, and they don't have good enough goaltending to win that way. It's going to be a run and gun, high-scoring game if Edmonton wants to win. It's going to be like a 4-3, 5-4 game because they're just not a good hockey team, right?
I think it's going to be hard as hell to make the playoffs in this division. And a good team's not going to make the playoffs in this division.
Yeah, there's going to be some pissed-off fans for sure. Like,
well, look at
it. It's sad. It really is sad that you have the best 2 players in the world and you can't build a proper team around them. It's sad. It is honestly sad.
I don't know. My gut still tells me Montreal is going to fall.
Montreal looks damn good.
They do. Look great. They look great.
Allen looks good. Their back end looks really good. They're getting
solid.
They're getting depth scoring up and down the lineup. So,
let's move on over to the East.
East.
Really only 2 teams to talk about in the Mass Mutual East.
There's only one team that I hit the panic button. That's the Rangers.
I have them down as a yes.
Because
are you a little worried though if you're on the island?
They've only played 9 games, but they've lost 5 of 9, right? So
6 of them.
That 6.
They're 3, 4, and 2.
Oh yeah, sorry, 6. Yeah, they're 3 and 6. They're 3 and 6. They're 3 and 6. Yeah. So, that's Sorokin. Doesn't look good yet. I think he could be good. He's young, right?
I would say if I'm on the island, I would say no to the panic.
But the Rangers, yes, 100%. Lafreniere has 1 goal in 8 games. What the hell is going on here? Georgiev and Sturkin have been awful. Both of them.
Is it crazy when you look at this division? I sit and I look at Buffalo and New Jersey sitting at 10 points, and I'm like, yeah, they're overachieving.
I know, like it's crazy. Like what? Let's talk about Washington for a second. We want to talk about them later or now?
No, let's talk about them now.
Unbelievable. They lost Ovechkin, they lost Kuznetsov, they lost Orlov, and they lost Samsonov. They haven't lost a damn game in regulation.
No,
they're 6-0-3. Unbelievable. I think they have the most goals in the Eastern Conference. Take a look here.
There is no Eastern Conference.
Well, oh yeah, sorry. So, okay, Vancouver's leading in goals. They are 3rd. Oh no, sorry, 4th.
For 4th.
Yeah, 4th. And they lost Ovechkin for 5 games, and Kuznetsov, who's still on the IR. Props to them. That's great coaching by I think it's Peter Laviolette's there now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I sometimes forget. There's been so much coaching changes lately, but yeah, hell of a performance. That it starts with a V. He's a Czech goalie there, Vinek or whatever. He's done a great job stepping in for Samsonov, and yeah, props to Washington, man. Good for them for getting wins without those 4 players.
Team just seems like they're on like AARP and they just keep winning. You don't know what AARP is, do you? Like old people are on that.
Yeah.
Social Security, whatever. Call it what you want.
Yeah.
All right. The West. There's a team that definitely needs to hit the panic button here. A team that was supposed to rebound this year, the San Jose Sharks.
I told you this team was not good, and you picked them to make the playoffs. So,
yeah. And they still might, but right now they're not looking like
they're just not a good hockey team. They're just not good.
They just allow way too many chances. It's like their defense just are out to lunch. Like, it is freaking astonishing how bad defensively this team is.
Like, I told you this. Like, I'm just like, this team is not very good.
So would you?
They're just old. Arizona too. Like that team's not good. Anaheim, that team's not good.
So all three of those should hit the panic button, you think?
Well, Anaheim and San Jose, you don't have to hit the panic button because it's not a good hockey team.
Well, I mean, do they start moving pieces and do they start trying to do stuff to get better, or call it a season and get assets, or what do you do here?
I mean, when you go out and get like Devin Dubnyk, you're not asking yourself for any favors. You're not doing yourself any favors. He's not a good goalie.
Well, I still don't think he's horrible. I don't think he's the problem. Let's put it that way. I don't think he's a solution, but I don't think he's the problem.
Martin Jones and Devin Dubnyk are not a good tandem. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
You know, I look at the Central right now. I don't think anybody should panic. Seriously, like, little standings are all tight, man. I mean, anybody can. Like, who's going to panic? Detroit knew they weren't.
How about Florida? How about Florida? Good for them. Good hot start. 5-0-1. I like it. They only played 6 games, so same with Carolina, 5-1. Like, this division's played no games. Like, Florida, Carolina, Dallas, Tampa, 6 games. They had a lot of postpones, right? So obviously, unfortunate COVID stuff, but every team's going to go through that, right?
I hope not.
No, I'm saying it is going to happen. There's going to be postpones. Like, it's just a reality, right?
Yeah, I know. But as we limit as many as we possibly can, and just hope that it doesn't affect the league too much.
I think that San Jose Vegas game got postponed today too. I want to say
there's one postponed tonight. Yes, San Jose Vegas is postponed tonight.
Yeah, so
I think there's one tomorrow that's postponed too. Tomorrow nobody's postponed. It doesn't look like. Yeah, looks like we're good to go tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. Let's take a trip around the league.
Inside Edge Hockey News. Dropping the gloves. And stirring the pot.
All right, hockey fans, a little trip around the National Hockey League. Questionable hits this week. Fiala from Minnesota drills Waugh from LA from behind, one of the most brutal from behinds that there is. 3-game suspension. Your thoughts on that one?
I agree with the suspension. I thought he should have got suspended 4 games, 3 to 4. They were right on point there. I don't know. Like, it's kind of a tough spot for both players because
I don't think Fiala meant to do it.
I don't think Fiala meant to do it because I think it was Roy. Was it Roy?
Yeah.
He toe picks, right? He's stumbling.
He turned.
He turned, toe picked. But Fiala could have hugged him into the boards. He could have, like, he didn't have to drill him in the numbers. Like, it was completely unpreventable.
Unpreventable. What the hell is that word?
Or it was preventable. Sorry. Sorry. My fault. Yeah, it was preventable. You didn't have to hit him that hard, but yeah, it was ugly. His face went right into the dasher and ugly hit for sure.
Dubé's hit on Kotkaniemi on Saturday night. Your thoughts?
You already know my thoughts. I already texted you about it, but I thought it was high. I thought like his hands came up, hit him right in the face. No call from the
league either.
No supplemental discipline.
League said point of contact was the upper chest neck area. He didn't lead with an elbow.
His hands were really high though. Like,
okay, so how is he supposed to hit him? He didn't jump. How's he supposed to hit him?
Well, you don't hit like this. Like, you're not taught to hit like that. That's what he did. He went like this. Like,
so
you don't hit like that.
We argued about the Myers one, I watched them both.
The Myers one was his shoulder, though. Hey, Dubé went like this.
It's not a penalty for hitting somebody with your hand.
He caught
It's
him.
not elbowing. It's not elbowing. The point of contact was right here.
That's the head. The chin is part of your head, no?
Right here.
Oh, I don't know.
Watch the video.
I don't know. Like,
Well, the league, obviously. I mean,
I just think the league is so inconsistent with this. Like, I don't know what's suspendable and what's not anymore.
well, if Myers didn't get suspended, this one shouldn't be.
Myers was right here, though, right in the chest. It was.
You're so delusional.
I am not delusional. It was right in the chest, and everything looks bad slow motion. It makes it look 100 times worse.
Yeah. And
Right.
when
real time, I was like, what a hit.
When
I look at it in slow roll, I was like, ooh.
When I saw it in real time, I thought he was like freaking trying to get out of the way. I thought he was trying to get out of the way of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Like I said, it's really inconsistent. George Peros.
They've been consistent all year. They haven't suspended hardly anybody unless it's blatant.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm fine with that. American Hockey League. I don't know. They're supposed to be getting going.
Yeah.
Early February here in the next couple days. They had agreed that they were going to get paid 48%, and now it's down to 40%, which teams are worrying that they're not even going to be able to afford that. The lowest somebody can make is $30,000, which sounds more than fair in a year like this year. I don't know. It's just a sad thing. I don't know how it's going to work. Like, I don't know how they're going to get this off in the American Hockey League with, they can't afford to do the testing that the NHL does. I just don't know how this is all going to come together, because it's not like these teams are in close proximity. So how are they going to afford?
Is it going to get to the point where the NHL team has to help foot the bill?
Well, they already do.
Yeah.
They already do. But how much can you hemorrhage? The NHL teams are hemorrhaging money. Like, you can't hemorrhage upon hemorrhage, right?
Yeah.
It just scares me. I don't know. Hopefully they get this off, but I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Saturday night, there was 12 minutes. I think you know what I'm talking about. There was 12 minutes of hockey not hockey, 12 minutes within a 12-minute span Saturday night. McDavid, Ovechkin, and Crosby all had overtime winners.
Yeah. It was crazy. Crazy times. It's a sense that the world is healing, in a sense. When you got guys like that scoring. That's what you watch hockey for, right? To watch those big guns produce and come through for your team, and just see them score like that. It was impressive.
McDavid's been amazing so far this year, and yeah.
That guy is a human highlight reel.
Yeah.
Did you see the goal against Toronto?
Mm-hmm.
My God, just picks it up in his own end. He threw 4 guys and upstairs.
But even the overtime winner was pretty impressive, though.
Yeah, one-handed.
Gosh.
This guy, even the goal he scored yesterday, went 5-hole. He knew what he was doing before he even touched the puck. I'm just like, this guy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy good. Tkachuk and the Leafs. Don't want to talk about this a lot, because I think it's all overblown. Probably wouldn't have even been talked about if it wasn't against the Leafs. But
guy's a spaz. Him and Brady both are spaz.
What do you mean?
They're spazzes. What are you doing trying to throw the Gatorade off the bench and slamming the door in front of your teammates? And dude, I get you're showing emotion and passion, but
okay, so let me ask you this. Is JT Miller a spaz? Because on 3
for dropping the F-bomb and slamming the door, yeah, he's kind of a spaz for that.
Yeah.
100%.
Kind of the same thing. Do you want guys like that, or do you want?
Well, I'm just saying, okay.
Like, I thought what was it good for? I think that's good.
Well, and at the time the team was struggling, so yeah, he's frustrated.
He's Calgary. Up by the Leafs.
The thing is, though, should have Muzzin flip the puck at Tkachuk? Probably not.
But it's fine. I don't know.
I thought it was funny.
But now let me ask you this question.
But I think Tkachuk was more mad that nobody stepped in to help protect him. But the guys on the ice, Gaudreau ain't fighting, Lindholm ain't fighting, Giordano's not fighting.
They saw it, though. I don't even think they saw it.
I think their backs are all turned, honestly.
I don't think they saw it.
So
Get this one. Let me just ask you this question. If Tkachuk flips the puck at Muzzin.
Nothing happens.
No. He would get crucified.
He wouldn't. No play
ever.
It's like he slap shotted the puck in his face. He just flipped the puck at him, hit him in the chest, and Tkachuk freaked out. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing?
You wait. Do you hear what?
Then
Bieksa said? Bieksa said I would have beat the living shit out of him. Did you see? I mean, there were multiple players from around the league. They would have went ape shit.
Bieksa is so funny on the panel. He is so.
You guys, I want a player that if someone flips a puck at me at the end of the game, they're going to hear from me. And I guarantee you that at the end of the next game, if Calgary somehow beats the Leafs, Tkachuk's going to make sure he's on the fucking ice.
And then, so they lose to Toronto. Closed door meeting between the players this early in the season. You like that or not?
Well, I don't think they had a choice.
3 straight losses.
I'm telling you, this core is not there. Something needs to change.
Who do you think would have initiated that?
You hear what Corey Sarge said on the Fan 960?
I don't listen to that. No.
He said that watching Johnny Gaudreau makes himself want to puke in his mouth. He said, if I had to be on the bench with that guy and the way he works defensively, I would puke in my mouth.
Yeah.
Players, I'm telling you another thing that's going wrong in Calgary. And I'm going to talk about it on my Flames Unfiltered show. When that team has Milan Lucic out there, bumbling and stumbling all over the ice,
beer leaguer,
and their coach is moving him up the line, up the depth chart, what do you think that does for team morale?
Well, he's looking for a spark or something, right?
So Milan Lucic is the guy you're choosing?
Well, he's a guy that can
what? Stumble?
He can be physical, right? He can
catch him.
He can spark some energy. If I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to make of Lucic because
I do.
Last year in the playoffs, he was effective. He was faster. He was good. He was scoring goals, and now this guy can't even keep up. I don't know. This guy, you see cheeseburgers all off season?
He's not even close.
What's going on?
I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
Jim Rutherford resigns GM in Pittsburgh. And we're not going to talk about this long, but were you shocked?
I was shocked because of the timing. I mean, you're 7 games into the season. Why wouldn't you just resign after playoffs and have a new GM come in?
Don't say too much here because I want to get your take because it is part of the listener question today. So we're just gonna.
I just don't.
I was surprised.
I don't know what the like.
I was surprised.
Well, hopefully he's not sick or anything. But
I think I know the reason. And it's a guess. It's only a hypothesis. It's
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Rangers place defenseman Tony DeAngelo on waivers. He clears. What happens with this clown?
Yeah, he's a clown. He's a bozo. There was speculation that he got in a fight with Chris Kreider. He made a burner account on Twitter, and he was liking comments about his teammates that were negative. It was just so blatant, too. It was like his name was like unbiased Rangers fan 999666. It's like something stupid like that. And it was just so noticeable. And people caught on to that shit real quick. They're like, yeah, this is Tony DeAngelo. And they caught on quick. And then he had some racist comments on Twitter. It's just, there's a whole bunch of baggage, right? He's got a $4.8 million cap hit attached to him. He's going to be in the KHL, I'm sure. Like this guy will be on a one-way ticket to Russia. I mean, he's a good talent. I mean, he got some Norris votes last year. He had 53 points in 68 games as a demon on the back end. There's no denying that he doesn't have talent, but for sure, it's just not worth the risk of bringing a guy like that into your locker room.
Sam Bennett and Mete from Montreal both supposedly have requested trades.
Well, Mark Bergeron said not sure and not trading it for Mete, so I don't know.
I don't think either one's going to get traded.
You got to be frustrated for Mete, though. I mean, it's been healthy scratch 8 straight games. He's just there's no room for him.
No.
They brought in Edmondson. Everybody's healthy. I mean, if you're the only way he's getting in is somebody gets hurt. So
he's in the lineup tonight too, by the way.
Mete?
Yeah.
Oh, he is, eh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what that means, but
funny how that works when somebody supposedly requests a trade and now they're in the showcase.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that real funny?
Funny. Watch Bennett will be on your first line tonight. So
I would be
playing with Johnny Gaudreau.
You know what? I've always wanted it to be Gaudreau, Monahan, Bennett. I've said that I was my projected line at the beginning of the year, but nobody listens to me in Calgary because we got to have Lucic up there.
You want Jake Virtanen? He's healthy scratch for a 4th straight game.
Believe me, Blake, it was all over Vancouver and Calgary radio all day today. Trade Virtanen for Bennett. It was all over.
Oh, I'd throw out a 1st-round pick. No, maybe not first.
Virtanen in a 1st for Bennett?
Maybe a second. Maybe a second.
You guys would have to throw in because Bennett's
I'd probably
a little better player.
I'd probably trade Virtanen in a 3rd for Bennett. I think that's pretty fair value.
I got a sneaking suspicion after all the moves between those two teams going back and forth. I don't think we're going to have any more. I don't know.
They haven't made a move since Berchi for a second that turned into Rasmus Anderson.
I know, but all the player transfers in this contracts in the offseason. I don't think. No, you got half of Calgary's roster. We can't keep trading teams.
Yeah, we got half of Calgary's roster. We got one player.
Yeah, and he's injured like he's always been injured. There's a reason why we didn't re-sign Mr. Travis Hamonic, even though I think he's a heart and soul guy. But
Jacob Markstrom's always hurt too, so careful what you wish for, buddy.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You ready for 3 questions?
Let's give her.
It's one on, one shot, now the future before. Let's go.
It's time for 3 questions.
All right, time for 3 questions. My favorite part of the show. We'll rattle through 3 quick, answer a listener question, and we'll get you ready for an exciting night of hockey here as we record this on Monday night. 3 questions. Number 1, Travis Konechny, a healthy scratch on Saturday night for Philly. Do you read anything into this?
No, if you listen to Alain Vigneault's press conference, he said that Konechny has been good 5-on-5, and he just sent a message. I like that. I like that from your coach.
I do too.
Just because you're a star player doesn't mean you just coast by. If you're not producing, your ass is going to be up in the press box. And AV did that. I'll tell you a story here. AV did that to Ryan Kessler, 2011. He benched his ass 2 games in a row. Okay? Put a fire under Kessler's ass. This guy scored 41 goals and won the Selke that year. So, I mean, sometimes it can motivate a player.
With another 2011.
No, I'm just saying that he did that to Kessler. And Kessler is a good player in the league. He's in the prime of his career. So, I mean, maybe lights a fire and Konechny's ass, right? And shows that.
I don't think it's a bad move at all.
I think it's good. I respect that. I wish more coaches did that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Question number 2. Are this year's Ottawa Senators worse than last year's Detroit Red Wings?
I'll let you know in 10 games. Right now I'll say no. Right now I'll say no.
Okay. Let's see. I'll
let you know next pod.
The track record the last week was as ugly as
they played some good teams. Vancouver's a good team. Edmonton's got firepower, so I don't know.
One of those 2 teams won't be in the playoffs.
Yeah, Edmonton.
Maybe both. Question number 3.
Okay, let's relax, please.
With hockey fans still waiting for the debut of Patrick Laine and Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Spit it out.
Will teams in the North Division shy away from trades due to this 14-day quarantine?
Yeah, I think they will. I think you'll see a lot of if they trade, it'd be North with the North and so on and so forth. I think Winnipeg is trying to get it down to the training camp 7-day quarantine. I don't know if that's still in the works or not. They're trying to work with the government. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's still going to be 14 days. So, I mean,
for them to play Vancouver.
What?
Just in time for them to play Vancouver.
No, they missed Pierre-Luc Dubois.
I know. I'm just saying.
But it sucks for Dubois though, because you quarantine for 2 weeks in a hotel. He's not even skating. He's not skating. So
they were hoping that they could.
He's going to be another week in quarantine, right? And then he's going to have at least another week to skate and get in game shape.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not going to play for another 2 weeks.
I don't think a lot of teams. I think a lot of teams will shy away from trading because of it. I do.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
Listener question comes in from Shane Lavelle, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Who do you think the replacement for Pittsburgh's general manager position now that was abandoned by Jim Rutherford as he resigned? Who do you think will be the front runner for that? That's a good question.
I hate this. I hate this guy so much.
You're not going to say Pierre Maguire.
He ruined the Canucks. Oh, Mike Gillis might have a job there.
He might.
I'm
second on my list.
He might. And that's, if I was a Pittsburgh fan, I would be scared shitless. We're talking about the guy that traded Luongo and Schneider back-to-back years. I mean, they did get Bo Horvat. You did get Jacob Markstrom, but not ideal to trade those two, right?
No. I penciled in Jason Botterill because he was Rutherford's right hand man.
Oh man, Pittsburgh, it might be in huge trouble.
Yeah.
Let's even throw Pierre Maguire into there.
Do you know who will get the job? Whoever comes in and says, yeah, I agree, we don't need to tear down. We can rebuild on the fly with Crosby and Malkin. That's
false. They're full of shit.
I know, but that's who will get hired. I didn't say it'll be the right, but that's who will get hired.
They have no goaltending. They're old. They're like Chicago.
Yeah.
They're like Chicago.
Yeah.
They got Malkin and Crosby, right? You got some good young players with Rust and Gensel, but like Crosby, Malkin, Letang, right? Keith, Kane, Taves, same thing. Both have no goalies. Both have shit defenses. They're just old. They got their 3 cups. Chicago got their 3 cups. They're literally identical. So that's your question. I'm gonna say Mike Gillis, and that scares the shit out of me to say.
You know what? Another one that's crazy. Mark Bergevin's in his final year, or one more year after this year in Montreal.
No, he'll get extended.
I know. He's good buddies with Lemieux.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I don't know. I think.
Tom Fitzgerald was rumored to get interviewed, but I don't think the Devils are going to let him.
No, I don't think so either.
Because I think he's got 3 years left in the organization. I wouldn't let that guy go. Not at all.
No.
So interesting for sure. It's a good pod. Good episode.
Busy week of hockey action. It's games every night. Most teams now are in the heart of the go with 3 and 4 for a lot of teams. Check back next week for another episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast. Check us out on YouTube under Inside Edge Hockey News. Make sure you subscribe and then rate and review us and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Thanks everybody for listening each and every week. Go to manscaped.com. Buy and use promo code DEBATE. Save 20%. They'll ship it to you free. Great deals, great grooming from the Debate Hockey Podcast. Enjoy this week's hockey action. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk hockey again next week. Get connected. The Debate Hockey Podcast can be found on Twitter at Debate Hockey. Also, make sure you check us out on our Facebook page, The Debate Hockey Podcast. Brad Burud can be found on Twitter at Brad Burud, and co-host Blake Friars can also be found on Twitter at Friars_Blake. If you like what you hear, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. The Debate Hockey Podcast can be found on all major podcast players, and please consider subscribing to the Inside Edge Hockey News on Patreon.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com and on Twitter at InsideEdgeHOCKE and Facebook at Inside Edge Hockey News. We'll catch you next time.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.